Welcome back to Tucson, Arizona. My name is Dave Vincent alongside David Fink for the men's finals of this Icebreaker Challenge. Erik Torres and Dylan Hernandez will face each other on this beautiful Sunday afternoon as morning turns to afternoon now. We're in the middle of the pandemic. The coronavirus is probably at its peak, Dave, but we're doing everything we can to get professional handball back on the air so the players can tour, but also tour safely. The referee has a face mask on. The photographer has one on. We have one on here in the booth. We're making sure that the players do all the right things in advance of the tournament. They stay in the bubble. They are swabbed, and they have social distance just like we have as well, trying to break the ice and let others know that you can actually play the game of handball during a pandemic. That's why we call this the Icebreaker.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this final, Dave. Erik Torres, you would think was the favorite, but that's not really going to matter right now as Dylan has the first serve. Dylan seeking what I would call his biggest ever title.
I'd say so, yeah.
Dylan Hernandez in the front, serving the ball, and the returning serve is Erik Torres. First game, 0-0.
I mentioned, Dave, during Dylan's semifinal win that he was making a conscious effort to build everything off of his serve and to start faster because he knows whoever he plays here is going to be a really tough player. So he wants to try and start fast, started with a nice ace serve, but puts that fly kill opportunity in the ground. Dylan did not make many errors in his semifinal win. In fact, he made the least amount of errors of anybody in this event so far. Just 8 errors in that semifinal win. He's already got 1 here in the final. You see the sun now becoming a factor. Neither player wearing sunglasses, Dave, but it's tricky to wear sunglasses with half shade and half sun because you will lose the ball in the shade with sunglasses. And then again, it is a little brighter than you'd like in the sun. Erik with a nice whip kill there to the left.
2 serves 1.
It's a long serve, and that ball caught right there should be called a point.
Second serve.
Finally, that rally ends. One of the longest of the tournament, certainly here in the finals. Dylan Hernandez is up 1-0 here. Best 2 out of 3 to 21, tiebreaker to 11. This is the men's final. Torres won't like that avoidable hinder call, but it's definitely the right call from the referee. He has a tendency, and I saw it multiple times there in that rally, to drift in front and slide across after making his shot in front of his opponent.
Two serves 2. Point.
Good corner kill there from Erik Torres.
Erik says the fastest person in handball is Killian Carroll. Now, of all the interviews we've seen, Killian's name has been mentioned as the fastest 94% of the time. Loren Collado, who is Erik's sparring partner, says that Erik Torres is the fastest person in handball.
Well, Erik's a lot like Katrina Casey. He's a drifter.
Okay.
You know, he can drift right to the and does it without effort.
Yeah.
Kind of the way Luis Moreno would do it. Just you take one huge lunge step or 2 steps. Robbie McCarthy has that sort of thing going on. And it's very hidden. I think if you play a guy like Erik enough, you'd probably say, how does he... This is some amazing court coverage. I don't know how he's able to do it.
Right.
2 serves 4. Point. Three serves 4. Point.
Erik's cousin, Fabricio Velasquez, is his handball hero. He's the one who got Erik involved in handball in San Jose.
I know Fabricio, and I did not know that they were related. And Erik, that ball I thought was long. But nonetheless, that means that Erik was introduced to handball from somebody other than his father.
Right.
Point.
Good kill right there from Dylan Hernandez.
Maybe that's why he enjoys it so much.
I think we should do a podcast where we just talk about how our fathers want nothing more than for us to play the sport, but then give us no credit whatsoever when we do anything remotely good,
Point.
especially while you're playing, where it hurts worse.
6.
I don't mind the off the court out after the tournament's over, snub, but when it's happening while you're playing,
Point.
hit the best shot of your entire life, turn around and your
This
father
sounds
has
like
his
a 20-part podcast.
7 serves 4.
father has his back turned, acting like he didn't see it.
12. Second serve.
That's a great shot from Dylan.
Point.
Erik finds that fence. Erik's favorite courts, Campbell Community Center 3-wall
8
courts
serves 4.
in San Jose.
Yeah, they're great.
Point. Nine serves 4.
See, why does Erik stay left-handed? He drifts off the court. He could easily go with his right hand. He goes with his left instead and hits it into the fence. And by the way, we have a picture of your face up there on the fence.
Thank you.
Every time the player hits it, we send money to charity.
Point. Serves 4.
Great serve there from Dylan. That's a terrible shot there from Dylan. And Erik makes him pay. We've seen Dylan a number of times in this event, Dave, trying to take something off of these front court shots.
4. Serves
He's
11.
not gained anything from those off-speed shots. That's a great return with the fist. Now that time he had no choice but to dump that one. Dave, there is a paddle kill instructional coming out,
I can't wait.
and Dylan executed that one perfectly. He followed the guideline of the WPH panel of experts. And how do you miss that shot? I mean, he stood straight up there, Dave. Almost like he was trying to hit it in the ground.
12. Serves 4.
12-4 here. Dylan's starting fast
Point.
and gets that short crack. Now it looks like why didn't Erik get that? But the reality is you have to hang back on your heels when you're returning in 3-wall, and you don't have that quick first step to cover those short cracks because you have to be ready for that deep serve.
Yeah, that's true.
And Dylan's able to serve this deep serve and short serve from the same motion from that low contact point.
13,
Hard to read.
serves 4.
That time he goes deep with a nice hop into the wall. Fooled Erik there.
14, serves 4.
That's one of those tricky ones, Dave, because you're not sure if it's going to clip the side wall or go out the door. That's another tough shot. Dylan catches a lip, but Erik pushes him back 15 feet. Dylan falling backwards, trying to return the ball to the wall. I think a safer play there, Dave, is hitting the sidewall first. So if you're hitting that ball with your left hand, hit the left sidewall first. It may give your opponent a setup, but better than hitting it into that lip or the fence. Dylan hits that one out with a fist. Still not convinced, Dave, that the fist is the right shot. It's great when it works, but
5, serves 14. Short. Second serve. Point.
Erik's favorite sport to watch and play is volleyball. Use that volleyball overhand shot there to win that last rally.
Well, he hit it and just did a walk-off. He didn't even look back.
Right. That's a nice left there from Dylan. Beautiful handball there. Good 1-2 combination. Dylan with the hard drive with his right to Erik's left sets up that front court
14, serves 6.
offensive opportunity and buries it 1 inch high. Great serve.
Another good serve. We did not see those great serves in that first match that Dylan had against
15,
his opponent.
serves
It just didn't. Maybe we saw one, but not like this.
And Dylan said his favorite shot is the kill shot. His last 4 points, 2 aces and 2 first strike kills. Tough to beat that.
No, you're right.
16, serves 6.
16-6. So thus far, Dave, and another point for Dylan to make it 17-6. None of Dylan's opponents have scored more than 6 points in any game against him.
Wow.
Pretty amazing. And another amazing ace. Now he's locating that serve to the left and right, short and deep.
18,
He's following the John Bike playbook here.
Another good one, Dave.
Yeah, very good serve. Nice return there. This is what Erik wants to try and get into this neutral rally, and that's a rally ender with an overhand right.
That's what happens when you have control out here and you don't clip sidewalls.
Right. And that was Erik's problem in his first match. Although he did win it, it seemed like most of the time he tried to hit those overhand drives, he was clipping the side wall.
Point.
Well, we saw Erik score some quick points back in his first match. Let's see if he can do
7, serves 18.
the same type of magic here. Nice shot there from Dylan, who inside outs blocks Erik and punches it down the right wall. Perfect control.
18, serves 7. Point.
It's nice, Dave, to see that
19,
the NorCal and SoCal teammates really supporting one another in these matches. You hear Ricardo pulling for Dylan. Loren doing the same for Erik. Now Erik goes Killian Carroll here with this left-hand serve.
Let it go, bro. Because I don't know if you're going to
Erik
hit
hits
it.
a left-handed serve,
Second serve.
15 feet long.
Erik needs to take care of that shot.
That was a great get from Dylan. Kind of behind the shoulder, over the back.
8 serves 19. Point.
Nice rally there from both guys. Erik never relinquished control of that rally after a good serve.
19.
And that's the goal, Dave, in three-wall, is to serve and stay in the lead in the rally. Either you get the ace or set up a first strike, or if not the first strike, you just keep pushing your opponent until you get that offensive chance.
Kind of a late game run here from Erik Torres. At least he's scoring a few points. He hasn't had a big run, but he's scoring some points now and kind of prolonging this. And even with that said, 15 minutes we've spent on this game number 1, which is, I would say, fairly fast.
He's going to play. 9 serves 19. Point.
Nice ace serve. Erik has a lot of success coming out of these timeouts
10 serves
with his
19.
ace serve.
Erik with 3 aces in this first game. That serve is well long. It's a huge relief when that serve lands long, because as soon as that serve is hit, you're thinking as a returner, how will I ever return this? You see Dylan plays pretty far up in the court to return the power serve.
Right out.
He's up in front of the back line, which leaves him vulnerable to a good deep
19
serve.
serves 10.
Erik also right on that line. Dylan's serve has really been the difference, and we're going to crunch the numbers after this first game.
19 serves 10.
Well, this first game's going to be over if Dylan hits another one of those serves.
Possible game point serves 10. Hold it. Hit again.
Ooh, that's close.
Shut down.
That's one of the few hinders we've seen called in this tournament, and I just don't know.
That's a close one.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Erik was going the wrong way.
Possible
Dylan
game point
actually
serves
have
10.
made a great shot.
well, it didn't seem like Erik wanted any part of that shot.
And there it is. It doesn't really matter anyway.
First, take 5.
Dylan gets the 21st point and wins game number 1, 21-10. Give us some stats.
Well, the one that sticks out, Dave, is 10 ace serves for Dylan in that game, including the last 2. So 10 of his 21 points, almost 50% of his points are coming with just his serve. He adds 3 first strike kills, so 13 of his 21 points are on just his serve or first shot.
That's
So
impressive.
he's winning 55-60% of his points just with 1 or 2 shots.
That just means that you need 8 more points from you developing maybe a pass shot or an error from your opponent.
The rest of the stats, Dave, very, very even. These guys, Erik with 7 rally-ending shots, Dylan with 9, errors 6 each. So really it was the serve that was the difference there for Dylan.
And these guys did not want to take the 5 minutes.
No.
I don't blame them.
19 minutes for that first game. Erik telling me that the longest match he ever played was 4 hours. San Francisco Olympic Club in-house doubles. I believe that was earlier this year.
Yeah, my bad. You turned on? I think it's the top, right? Yeah. Hey, 0-0.
There's really no disadvantage to going to the roof with a power roof shot because at the very least you push your opponent 15 feet behind the back line.
Nice shot.
Here, you look at the stat sheet, Dave, and Dylan doesn't hit many left-hand kills, but when he does, they look so good. He had just 2 left-hand kills in that first game. You remember in his first match, very balanced with 6 left-hand kills just in the second game alone against Loren. Goes for that short serve there. Very hard for the ref to call those short serves, I think. The referee is about 35 feet from that short line with not a very good angle. The backline calls can also be tricky for the referee, Dave, because the player is oftentimes jumping right in front of the ball in the line. Unforced error there for Erik as he punches that return of serve about a foot long. 5-0 now for Dylan. This is exactly what you want. You've taken that first game and now you're really taking control of the match.
Announcer's curse. But it also is what you want when you're a guy that openly admits that you are a late starter. And you could be a late starter in game 1 and game 2. It could just be something that happens and it's in your head. And he said he needs to break that, that spell. And it looks like he's kind of done it here in this tournament so far.
1-5.
This is the Icebreaker Challenge men's final. And it worked out the way that you thought it would. NorCal versus SoCal.
Right.
Erik Torres versus Dylan Hernandez. Erik from Northern California, Dylan from SoCal.
I think it's nice that these players came this way to play new competition and no one had to play their sparring partner from at home. All the matches were...
That's the best.
Right.
What's also great is that nobody actually canceled the day of or the day before.
Now, to me, that's unavoidable. Not called, though.
Yeah, for some reason, referees look at the avoidable like it's a dirty word.
We did see one called on Erik, though, earlier in this event.
And we did hear the referee say, "I'm sorry," when he called it.
Nice first strike kill from Dylan.
Yeah, it was a flat rollout. And a crack right after that. That's a beautiful serve. Look at that thing. Is not even... It wouldn't even have come off the court, it seemed. Hit it just perfect. Erik should put this away. And that's unavoidable, Dave. Doesn't really matter, but that was unavoidable, right? Erik can't come across Dylan like that.
It seems like you see a lot more of that outdoors for some reason. That coming in between the ball and the hitter.
Well, Dylan's making it really hard on everybody who plays today with those deep serves. Because it seems like as soon as he does that, he's in control of the rally. He's dictating the next shot after the return from the opponent. They give him something and Dylan steps forward and pounds it somewhere. Even if it might be the wrong shot, he's still in control in his mind, and there's another crack serve.
Wow.
12-2.
12-2 for Dylan. Now he's 9 points from the biggest title of his career. I would say
Second serve.
this would be one of the 2 or 3 biggest wins of his career, taking down Erik Torres.
If there is a major championship that takes the finalists from, or the players from all of these icebreakers into one big championship, I know that there's kind of some talk about that. This puts Dylan in as a top seed if he wins this. So it is a big championship win.
Right.
Okay, 13-2.
Another ace serve.
14-2.
And these serves are coming off the side wall, these crack serves. Such an extreme angle. I think because he's hitting with a natural. Most people hit the short crack with a reverse, so the ball hits the crack and stays down. Or
Right. Yeah, I think he's
but
hitting
when
a
you're hitting
natural.
with a natural, it comes out at this 45-degree angle.
Yeah, it's not going to be a flat
Right.
kind of kill, but it will, I think, be more effective outdoors if you're going to do it.
I think the reverse is riskier outside. You'll get punished for bad reverses more in 3-wall than you will in 4-wall.
Lazy left hand there from Dylan.
Well, that's a tough shot. As good as Dylan is, or any of these players, it's never going to be easy to keep the rally alive with those high drives to your offhand.
Well, you have to have perfect timing. And I've been in that position before, and every time I feel like I'm so uncomfortable.
Right.
Even though you might hit 1,000 balls that way in your career, and yet it just doesn't seem right.
Either way, it's just a very difficult shot.
And then, score is 3-14.
That was a nice shot from Dylan. Drives the ball right at Erik's feet, and Erik,
I thought that was a mishit, but
yeah, it was.
4-14.
see, Dylan was up pretty far on that serve.
Now, you saw easy Erik makes that look. And he's had many opportunities just like that in this tournament.
5-14.
Erik is another one of these guys that he's had, you would say, the breakthrough by qualifying a number of times. But then again, he hasn't had that big breakthrough in the round of 16. Beating Mondo Ortiz in Portland 2018 was his biggest win in a race stop. But that was his only first round win in a race stop.
Dylan wants an avoidable here. He was shadowed by Erik, who swung across the court like we've seen throughout this tournament. And then he looks back at the referee, he doesn't get the call. Meanwhile, Erik hits a flat rollout afterwards. Well, beating Mondo Ortiz at a pro stop is a big deal.
Oh, no,
I would take that as a career achievement.
Right.
So you're right. He's had that big win, but you have to make it past that next stop. You can go into the round of 16 multiple times, but you have to make it into the quarters.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you need more than one quarters. Get to the quarters consistently, and then obviously your next goal would be semis. Let's not forget, Dave, this game is extremely tiring. 3-wall. Doesn't look like it when the camera's positioned back here, but these guys are working hard. just about every swing in three wall you're hitting as hard as you can. And you've got a lot more court to cover than you would in four wall.
See how easy he does?
Right.
Just a little flip.
And that's a perfect system there.
I know.
Left hand cross court ceiling sets up the left hand kill. That was a perfect deep left serve.
9-14.
2 in a row. 10-14 here. Game number 2.
10-14.
Dylan Hernandez wins game number 1. He's looking to take this championship, but Erik has the hot hand.
Thus far in 2 icebreakers, Dave, we've not had a tiebreaker. Erik trying to break that streak right now. You'd think with as evenly matched as these players have been that we would have seen
15-10.
some tiebreakers. Now Dylan's 6 points from this championship at 15-10 on the first game, 21-10, and that was a beautiful fly kill.
Perfect.
Well, that's the ideal shot to fly kill. The ball that hits the front wall, side wall, already has the right spin on it, and you just use that spin and put the ball right back into the corner. Now 17-10.
17-10.
Tough to leave that one, but Dylan made the right call. That was not very far out. Sometimes you just have a feeling.
Yeah, that was a good feeling he had.
That almost should be counted as a winner, as a rally ender for you, knowing to leave that ball. Now you see the sun starting to come in here. Unseasonably warm here in Tucson. People think of Tucson being 100 degrees all the time, but generally, Dave, at this point in November, the average is in the 70s. Today is 86. In fact, yesterday was the warmest recorded day in 100 years.
Oh my gosh.
At this point in November.
I don't. It was really hot yesterday.
Ten 19. Eleven 19.
Look at that shot. It's so perfect.
Right.
Is that a shot that you consciously try to make when you're out here playing now?
Yes.
19-11.
Particularly when you have the right angle, when you're standing in the right spot in the court.
Whew.
And now match point. A perfect serve there from Dylan.
20 serves 11. Right up. Eleven serves 20. Point. Twelve serves 20.
Oh, wow. Nice strong return from Dylan Hernandez. Pounds that ball right front. Drives it down the line. Now he's serving to take the match.
20 serves 12.
That was... Oh. There it is. Dylan Hernandez defeating Erik Torres here for the Icebreaker SoCal versus NorCal in Tucson, Arizona. And he is now on the list of champions, Dylan Hernandez. Good game from him. In fact, great tournament.
Dylan earns the yellow mask. Very impressive performance. Not as much separating these two guys in that second game. The big differences were Dylan with 5 aces to Erik's 4, but really it was the rally-ending shots. Dylan with 12 rally-ending shots to Erik's 6. So you've got 1 more ace, 6 more rally-ending shots. They were pretty even in the 6-plus shot rallies. Dylan with 2 fewer errors than Erik, 21-12. Pretty close. Erik got down, made a little bit of a run, but it was Dylan's tournament. Personally, I've been waiting for his breakthrough for a couple years now. It looks like it's come. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of him. You mentioned the possible championship for these icebreakers. He will definitely be part of that if that happens.
Defeating Erik Torres, indoor or outdoor, is actually very difficult to do. Erik is one of those guys that can sneak up on you. And I would have predicted that Erik would have won this tournament, leading in, even in the finals, knowing that Erik didn't play his best ball early. I would have felt like he still had the advantage. But Dylan played great. It looked like Dylan was the only player here that actually had a system. Erik, at times, seemed like he did when he wanted to flip the switch. But, one thing that we can analyze, or at least compromise when we are analyzing, is that these guys are in the middle of a pandemic, and it hasn't been easy to get out and play. You've been told to stay home. Some players, both of these, and all of the opponents, really coming from California. They have a governor that's mandating wear a mask at all times when you're in public now, which I think started about, I think when these guys get back home, it'll start about that time. So it's been, I think, a struggle for them to get out and play and to get indoors or outdoors to continue with their staying in shape. And also, you can go do those things where you're in maybe what you feel is the best shape of your life, but when you get cameras on you, it's an important tournament. Getting back into the swing of things, it's not easy. And, they have to get back into the swing of things. So now they've got a little bit more pressure than their daily grind. And you have to, tip your hat in a way to say it might be a little sloppy at times today, but it's a starting point. Hopefully we can get back into a rhythm.
Well, congratulations to Dylan. And we really appreciate the players making the trip to compete here. I know they love having the chance to play, and we loved having them. And it's great to be able to host these safe events during this pandemic and, showcase our great sport at our amazing facility here at Clark Park in Tucson. And we're going to look forward to the next one.
Well, things are going to get better. Hopefully we'll have the vaccine, hopefully as soon as that is announced, and as soon as we follow the protocols, we'll certainly have the Pro Tour back. I really do like these outdoor stops, though. And it's maybe an eye-opener in a way that our Pro Tour could incorporate that. I know you've wanted to do it for such a long time.
I'm glad you said that.
It just has a good feeling to be outside nonetheless. Maybe that's it's a terrible silver lining, but maybe as we look and reflect about the pandemic, that maybe it can, and it really has already, send people outdoors to nature a little bit more than they had in the past. So maybe we go on that route.
Well, I think, if you're talking about pro handball, it should be, combining all these different codes and really establishing who's the best overall player.
I'm not opposed to it. More now than before, especially because a lot of clubs are still not allowing people to play, and those that are allowing them to play are wearing masks, and it's very difficult to play with a mask on. You're so restricted. So anyway, that's maybe for our podcast, but congratulations once again to Dylan Hernandez, who takes down the yellow face mask for this one. And we'll throw a yellow jersey in as well, as he wins the Icebreaker November with Tucson and WPH Live.tv. For Dave Fink, my name is Dave Vincent. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day, Dave.
Thanks.